The 25th book that I read in 2025 is Dubliners by James Joyce. I read this in 2024 to prepare to teach it this year. And I have to say that I did like it a lot better the second time through. Actually, I probably read it 2 or 3 times this year because I had to teach it and lead discussions about it. And the stories are very complex. I did like it a lot more this year. The narration progresses from young to old, and I think I like the younger point of view better than the older point of view. So the stories that highlight for me would be The Encounter, Araby, Eveline, Grace. Those stand out. Clay is another one that I think I liked a lot. Two Gallants is a very good story. Some of the later stories don't appeal nearly as much, especially The Dead, which some would argue is the greatest short story written in the English language. I don't, I mean, they are great stories to study. They're not necessarily great stories to enjoy. And I know a lot of people would disagree with that comment. And I totally admit it's just me. But Easy Joyce is still very difficult reading. And my students had a really hard time. They're high school students. They had a really hard time with these short stories and getting into these short stories. But again, they'll be cycling through for a second time as we get ready for our competition over Dubliners. They'll be cycling through it for a second time, and I think that they'll appreciate them a lot more. Some videos on YouTube that help me understand Dubliners. Codex Cantina does about a 20-minute video for every story in the book. Also, there are course heroes and there are cursed culture videos that go through the plot. They helped a lot. It's not Ulysses. It's certainly not Finnegan's Wake, which I've never read, but it is difficult literature. And even though the argument is that this collection might be the best, and certainly The Dead might be the best short story ever written in the English language, very difficult to get into. And perhaps if I was Irish and knew more about Ireland, I do think that would help. There's a lot about Irish government and the battles that it had with England. This is in the turn of the 20th century. Also, a lot about Catholicism is necessary to understand these stories. So, very complex, very rich. Dubliners is almost a character more than it is a setting in this collection of short stories. But I would say that once I've finished it this year, that I probably am done with Dubliners for the rest of my life.